Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to just show you guys around my witchy supplies because I am super bored and I really don't have the energy or creative juices to think of any new videos right now because I've been pouring my creativeness into my art and my jewelry and everything. So I've been getting back into those things recently, which has been, I had like a big slump of where I wasn't doing any art or jewelry or making anything. And so now I'm getting back into it. So I'm just going to show you guys around my, in my bedroom, behind me, all of the witchy things that I own. Okay, so, because I kind of showed it to you guys in my house tour, but I didn't really go into it. So I'll show you. This is my oil cabinet. I got this cabinet, I think at an antique store, and it used to be like light colored, and I just stained it. As you can see, the the glass is really terrible. But all these feathers, I found all of these on walks in the woods, at parks. There's a blue jay feather right there, and I've got some turkey feathers, some raven feathers, just all different types of feathers in here that I found on walks. Up here, I've got oils that I've made and a tea tree oil. These are just little sticks that I use when I make like fairy furniture and fairy crafts like that, stuff like that. A little canvas that I glued this enamel heart to, or clock, and these little tiny compasses. And then some jewelry. My dad gave me this, and then I made that. This here is a bone. It's like from a bird, and then I just put some charms on it. I've got some more oils that I made, some Yarrow oil, some St. John's wort oil, and some thyme oil. And then these are just some essential oils that I use for my solid perfumes that I make. This right here is a hagstone that I found. Pretty cool. And then I got some new bottles that I just ordered off Amazon. This is a dream powder for dressing candles. Some extra little bottles, some lavender oil, and so I think it's sage oil, and then some fiery wall of protection oil. And then down here, let's see, we've got bay leaf. That one's just flower. Cinefolk, Love Magic, sweet marjoram, thyme, vervain, St. John's wort, white sage, dream magic blend, frankincense oil. These are all resin oils. So there's like copal, frankincense, there's a jasmine oil, some other ones, some more oils, dandelion, anise, lavender, lemon balm, Solomon seal, frankincense, Japanese maple flower, a Yule blend, mugwort. These are some mini antique silverware. I collect strange mini silverwares and stuff like that. These are some other oils and little plants. Typically when you make oils, it's recommended that you keep them in amber bottles because otherwise, if you keep them in bottles where sunlight hits them a lot, see, in this room it stays dark usually. I have blackout curtains and they're usually closed, so it stays pretty dark in here, which is why I keep them in here, because they can go bad if the sun gets to them. If they get heated up, then they can, especially if you keep herbs in them like I do, then they can rot, and you do not want that because then you have to freaking just throw them out and start over. Okay, and then over here we have some little bottles and this little, I'm not sure what this is. I think this used to be like I think it's some kind of smoking tool or incense tool because it's got this thing screws off on the top, and this looks like some kind of pokey thing, and then it has a hole. And then down here, I've got some empty bottles and such. And then all my incense, well, not all of it. This is the Satya Baba Super Hit incense. It's one of my favorite smells. So I just bought a giant box of that. And then I bought different types. All my tarot cards. One of my mortar and pestles. My rain sticks. These big bottles I found at the thrift store. And down in here we've got most of my herbs. I'll just like show you a little bit of them. Star anise, bay laurel, lavender, vervain, chamomile, lemon balm, Alaskan birch bark. Just a big piece of bark I brought back from Alaska. Every time I go anywhere, I always come back with sticks and rocks in my suitcase, and it's a thing, okay? If you're a witch, you know what the hell I mean. Got some catnip, got some thyme, got some cinefolk, some dried oranges, some garden sage. Back here, I've got some cone incense, some more stick incense, some castor oil, Spanish lavender, casacryla powder, which is just ground up eggshells. A lot of good uses for that. I keep the stems from all of different plants that I have too. So this is chamomile. We've got some cinnamon. This is a spell that my friend made. Some chamomile flowers. This little pine cone that I found. This hawk feather fan. Down here, I've got, this is an old vase. I've got some candles from Michael's. Every time I go in there and they're on sale, I always buy a bunch because of candle spells and all that. I'm actually running low. And I got some charcoal briquettes, some empty glass jars, some wands that I made. This one, it's got mugwort in it. It's a Libra wand. It's got a piece of kyanite at the top and a piece of moonstone and aventurine. And I just took some resin and I dripped it down from the tops. So that's the first one. Then I've got this one. I actually made this for my sister and then we started fighting, so I never got to give it to her. I'm still going to give it to her whenever we make up. So whenever that is, I'll still have it for you, Emily. It's got a piece of, I'm not really too sure what this stone is. It's just one that I had. But this is like a grapevine that I found. And I put some stuff on it, and then I put a rose quartz on it for her. And I've got this wand. It's got some St. John's wort in it. In this little bottle here. See if I go focus right there. Oh, it's got hair on it. Charming. But it's got a piece of selenite on it and a piece of amethyst. So that is, oh, and back here I've got some echinacea, a candlestick, some more bottles, and a candle. Back there is a sage stick from plants that I grew in my garden last year. And then up here, this is some more oils. This little oil thing. This is a piece of Himalayan salt. And here we've got some bones, a little painting I did. I usually keep a little gold bowl right here with my pendulums in it, but that's being used right now for something else, a spell. And then my miniature mortar and pestle my sister got me, but it fell and broke, and I glued it back together as best I could. I still use it, but I like to display it more. These little specimen bottles. And this is all the jewelry that I've made. It's all ritual jewelry. with plants that I've made and, or not made, grew. Uh, spells and bottles, herbs for protection, things like that. And then over here, okay, so I'll give you an overview of what all that looks like. And keep in mind, all of this type of stuff, this has taken me years to collect, literal years. Like for the past, I mean, I've been collecting stuff like this for a long time, but passionately, I've been doing it for like 4 years. And this is how much I mean, I've gotten like basically a whole house full, but my collection is ever growing and ever changing. And whenever I don't have things that I haven't used in my collection, say I'll have a book that I haven't read or that I've already read and I've worked through and I've done all the things in it because, you know, all books are just tools to help you craft your own book shadows. And so if I have books that I don't use or incenses that I don't like, I just give them away to my friends. I don't sell them. I kind of feel bad when I sell things like that because I think there's a lot of baby witches out there or witches who just don't have the money to buy things like this. And of course you don't need tools, but obviously it's like it helps with the atmosphere. It helps with the feeling of your spells and like, you know, it helps get you in the mood for things like that. And I think that items hold a lot more sentimentality when they're given to you. Like my deck of tarot cards. My mom gave me those tarot cards, and I still, even though I have all of these, I still only use that deck, mainly. Okay, let me stop blabbing and just get on with this. So this is my old book of shadows from my coven that I was a part of. It was called Willow Grove in East Tennessee, and I still talk to the people. I'm still friends with them, but I am more of a solitary practitioner, I found. So yeah, I've got here, this is just the old jar I found at a thrift store. I'm telling you, go to thrift stores. You will thank me later if you are a jar collector. What I did here is I just took a bunch of old earrings that didn't have matches and just, there was, I don't know, you guys, women, we all do this. We all keep old jewelry and we all just like hoard shiny, pretty things. And so I just took all of those pretty earrings that I keep, and I just shoved them into this cork. And now my jar is pretty. Same with this thing. I just took an old necklace and glued that on there. So I've got some candles, some spoons, some jars with some herbs in it, salt. This cauldron that I have yet to use. I'm trying to save it for a special occasion. So yeah, haven't used that yet. This pendulum, or not pendulum, it's a Wheel of the Year thing I got in my Tamed Wild box. Some more stones, my selenite, my candle snuffer. Back here I've got this old tray table thing, and this is all of my smaller jars of herbs. I've got sage flowers, wild honeysuckle, rose hips, lemongrass, rosebuds, dianthus, anise. This is a patchouli amber blend. It's resin. I bought that in Colorado. I've got some purple basil, echinacea, sandalwood, black salt, and this is henbit from my garden. And then I've got this spell candle with some runes on it, a lavender essential oil. I've got, of course, I always keep my roses from, you know, Mother's Day and Valentine's Day. I always hang them upside down. Some more sage bundles from my garden. This star I found at a thrift store. This lantern, I have a candle in it. It projects stars onto the mantle at night. And over here I got this little cabinet that I keep all my extra bottles in, that and bottles and miniature jars that I'm not using. They all go into this little cabinet that I got at a antique store. And then I've got all of these. This thing has got, this is a little jar, and it's actually holding some of this patchouli amber. Then I've got this candelabra. As you can see, it's for when I need to enact a very powerful candle spell. Usually I will only use one candle at a time, like these. For candle spells, you hollow out the bottom and you stuff them with herbs and you burn them. But when you want to enact a really powerful spell, 5 candles. Earth, air, fire, water, spirit. It is very helpful to have that. But usually this is like, these are the little chime candle holders that I have. I got these off Amazon. For a set was like $6. They're like little celestial ones. They fit chime candles perfectly. Or you can get these little cheap ones from different stores. And I also have these kind right here. Do I have one in here? No, I don't. But they're little tiny. I have other ones too. And then on my mantle, let's see, I've got this herb cabinet, which I just keep little knickknacks and findings in. That statue. I've got, this is the first pendulum I've ever had. A friend gave it to me. It is a arrowhead, an Indian arrowhead wrapped with some leather. This is the mirror I use for, this is the mirror I use for candle spells and divination and scrying, because it's cast iron and it's black all the way around. And then this is my athame, my ritual athame. This little box that I use for little trinkets, offerings. My 2 crystal balls. This one was a gift, and I bought this one. And then a piece of agate, and then this is a piece of labradorite. And then another little thing. So here's an overview of all, of course, this is a Tibetan singing bowl, but it's got rocks in it. I put my crystals in it right now. And then the bell for clearing the space, and another little mortar and pestle. So that, you guys, is an overview of my witch supplies. Again, it's got some black candles up there, all that. So I hope you enjoyed this little tour through my witchy supplies. Next, I'm going to do a tour through my bookshelves because I am just freaking bored. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next one. Love you guys. Bye.